Hello everybody. It has been so long since I've done a video. I think the last video I did was last July when my granddaughter was here and we did our really groovy little dance video. So I thought it was time to make a new one. Now, if you've ever watched one of my videos before, you know a couple of things. First of all, it's not professional at all. So I will mess up a lot and I just keep going because I don't know how to edit and all that kind of stuff. Second, sometimes I'll have little brain farts and I can't remember what I'm talking about. I do have my notes. I look at my notes, so I may have to stop and consult those. And the last thing is I tend to say or a lot. I got nailed on that way back in Teachers College and I just haven't been able to break it. So I apologize for that ahead of time. So I have a lot of fun making these videos, but the last one I made, I tried to post it to my old YouTube channel, Bits and Pieces 84, and for some reason it decided that I was no longer the administrator and I couldn't post any videos on it. So I tried fixing it, didn't work. So I just decided God's telling me start fresh in 2025. So this is going to be my new channel. So last September, I decided to retire from teaching. I've been doing it for 34 years and I still have a lot of teaching left in me, I think. But I'm really old school, so I think me teaching in today's classroom just wasn't working. I kind of felt like, you know, when you can get bit in the butt multiple times by a student and there's no consequences, no, I'm done. I'm out on that. So after much thought, much prayer, I decided that I was going to take a year off and do something I've always wanted to do, write a children's book. People have told me over the years, you know, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. So for all you people, here we go. So I have already actually written a children's book, and you know I love props and signs here. So I did already write one children's book. It was called Preschooled, came out in 2022. I really hated how this book turned out. I was excited that I'd done it, but I hated how it turned out. I went with a publishing company, Christian Faith Publishing. And what I learned is that once you sign on that little dotted line, you lose all control over the book. So this was not the format that I wanted. It was supposed to be a book of little funny quotes that, you know, preschoolers say, and then it had illustrations. Quite honestly, these illustrations border on creepy to me. So I wasn't really happy with how it turned out. So I decided this time I wanted to kind of try something different. So, you know I love making signs, so you'll see a lot of those. So here's my process. I'm going to do a video kind of keeping you up to date on the process. So here's what I've already done. Step one. Step one was to take this master class. This was a just online course that was put on by Miriam Laundry. I always say Landry, but it's Laundry, Miriam Laundry, and Sharon Jennings, both award-winning authors. So I had actually purchased this program like 2 years ago, back when I was in Colorado. But as you know, things got a little crazy out there, and I had no time for watching videos. I was just, you know, kind of trying to make it from day to day. So I found it, dusted it off, and spent about 6 weeks just learning everything I could about how to write a children's book. I knew that I know how to write well, or is it write good? No, I'm kidding. It's write well. I know how to write, but there were so many things that I didn't know. Just weird things like word count in a children's book, page count, how to illustrate, how to self-publish, which is what I want to do this time, marketing, just everything. I learned so much. So I took a lot of notes, learned a lot of stuff on that, and I was ready for step two. Step two, I decided was going to be to do a little research. Okay, see these little books. So I went to my favorite library. It's Isley Library, way across town, but it's my favorite library. It has tons of amazing children's books. And I checked out a bunch of children's picture books about dogs, because that's what my story is going to be about. Now, I wanted to kind of both check out the competition and to just kind of see what things in children's books about dogs that I liked and didn't like. So I'm going to share a couple of my likes and non-likes. This one, Picture Book by Dog, I love this one. It's basically this little dog, and he goes through and he draws like little kid pictures of what his life is like. And he's just adorable. Totally love that book. Another one I liked was this one called I Found a Kitty. This author also wrote Can I Be Your Dog? And it's basically this little dog finds this little cat and he's trying to find it a home. So he writes little letters to prospective owners and sends the cat there to their house for one day. After a day, the owner writes them a letter saying, oh no, this isn't gonna work. So it's very cute. He eventually finds a home. It's adorable. Okay, so then I had ones that I didn't like. Couple of those. This was probably my least favorite book, called My Dog Romeo. This book made no sense. It was just like a bunch of random sentences about a kid and his dog. It made no sense. Now, the funny thing is about it, and I didn't like this book, and I may be a really bad judge of character when it comes to books, because some of the ones on my least favorite list were ones that were award winners or were on the New York bestseller list. So I might not be a good judge of character. This one is actually written by a famous person, Ziggy Marley. He is actually the son of Bob Marley. He's a like Grammy-winning musician, but I did not like his book. His music might be great, I really don't know, but his book, no thank you. Now this last one I want to show you, it was kind of on my not like list because it didn't have any words, and just from experience, you got 24-year-olds in a room, you can't really entertain them with a book like this. But it was called Spot and Dot. And what was fascinating about this book to me, see if I can find a good page, was the illustrations. I mean, check out these illustrations. And there's like 30 pages. See if I can find another page. I mean, there's just 30 pages of these super in-depth pictures. So I don't know how long it took Henry Cole to do this book, but it got a lot of points for style. So over the years, I feel like I've read enough children's books to both my students, hundreds and hundreds, to my students and my own kids, to kind of know what it is, that draws kids in, makes them like a book. And that's really my goal, is I want to write a book that draws kids in, engages them throughout the story, and they want to read it over and over again. Now, as a parent, I know that's annoying as crap. I can tell you with each one of my own 5 kids what book I read like 3 million times. But I decided I'm really writing for the kids and not necessarily the parents, so they're just gonna have to suck it up. Okay, so that gets me up to step 3. Step 3, I decided was going to be to write the first draft. So that's me right there with my little pencil and paper. I'm old school. Now, writing the first draft is not as simple as it might seem. I had a lot of people that, while I was on step 1 and 2, they're like, why are you doing all that crap? Why aren't you just sitting down writing the book? For me, that's not the way it works. Just my own personal thing. I feel like whenever you're doing any kind of creative process, whether you're writing, painting, music, whatever, that it has to be inspired. Now, for me, inspiration comes at really stupid times. Taking a shower, driving down the road, or taking a nap. My inspiration for this book happened to be while I was laying down taking a nap. And that was really annoying because I really wanted to just take a nap. Now, I already knew what I wanted the title of my book, what it was going to be about. It was going to be about my dog, Henry. and all his crazy antics. Now, Henry, a lot of people have said Henry is the dog version of me. So I thought it'd be fun to write a book about this dog. When I worked at the daycare, Bubbles and Blocks, I worked at Bubbles and Blocks daycare. Shout out to you guys. Love you all. Hope you're doing great. I miss you all. But I would go to work and tell my coworker about all the crazy things Henry did. And she would always say, "Oh, Henry." So I decided, I knew already this was going to be my title, "Oh, Henry." But I had no idea what the storyline was going to be. So I'm laying there one day under my comfy blanket and the storyline starts coming to me. And I wanted to ignore it. I'm like, shh, I'm trying to sleep. But it was kind of like, you know, when you're an adult and you have kids and you go to the bathroom and they follow you and they won't leave you alone. That's kind of what this storyline was doing. It was like, nope, get up. So I got up, I got my pencil and paper. Again, I'm very old school. You know, I've tried doing it on the computer. I've done some writing on the computer, but it just feels weird and kind of yucky to me. I'm kind of like that with library books too. I have to have the actual book. And that's really more because I forget who the characters are and I've got to go back and look at the characters, and it's much easier in a physical book than trying to swipe back through 8 million pages, not knowing where you are. Okay, so anyway, I got out my pencil and paper. I spent about a little less than an hour writing, and I came up with the beginning of my book. I was so excited. So here's a little sample of my rough draft. 2 pages. As you can see, there are a lot of scribble outs on it, and there'll probably be a lot more. Now I have to check my notes because I get lost already. Oh, I know. So that's where I am right now. I've got that started. My goal is by the end of January to have the first rough draft finished. Now, we all know inspiration can sometimes cooperate with goals and sometimes not. So I may need to just take a lot of naps or something to get that inspiration going. I'm going to plan on doing more update videos, kind of keep you up to date on what the progress is. And hopefully by next September or October, I'll be able to be holding my next published book. Now, since this YouTube channel is going to be replacing my old one, I'll also be putting some videos on the channel, just crazy ones like I did before, dance videos or, you know, making recipes or things like that. One thing I decided to do with this time off that I've had is just do more things that I enjoy doing. So making these videos is going to be one of them. In the past few months that I've had of just resting and healing and just taking some time to just take things at a much slower pace, I've decided a couple things. And one of those things is that life is super short. I know you hear that all the time, but it really is. And none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. So I just decided I wasn't willing anymore to keep putting things off and going, oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll write that children's book later. I just really want to do things that I enjoy, that bring me joy. And so one of the things that I do every single day is I try to do at least one thing that brings me joy. And so to end this video, I thought I'd share my top 10 things that I like to do. Now, part of this is because I just wanted to make at least 10 more signs, but they're fun, so I think you'll enjoy them. All right, so here we go. These are in no particular order. So first thing I've got, if you know me, you know this is one of my favorite things. That is donuts. Now, usually I can just get by with one. You know, every once in a while I have a 2-day or, you know, 2 donut kind of day. My favorite donut, Dunkin' Donuts cake donut with chocolate frosting. And make sure you say white cake donuts. I'm not being racial or anything, but if you don't, they'll give you the chocolate donut with the chocolate frosting. And that's a big no thank you for me. All right, what do I have next? Oh, yes, this is a good one. Reading a book. I haven't had time to read a book for years. And so I have several that I like to do, like to read. I've got this one. This is my devotional I use every day. It's a new one this year. Be still and know. That's from the Psalm 46:10. Be still and know I'm God. Those first two words, my mantra. Be still. It's hard for me. Now I also have what I call romance novels. Some of my friends and family call them my smut novels, but they're really not smutty. They're just romantic. And what's better than some romance, right? Now, the other kind of book I like to do what I call, self-improvement, self-help kind of books. Just kind of deep books that make you think about things. So one of the best ones I've read recently is called The Art of Being Alone. I realized that I have never been alone in 58 years on this planet. This last year, starting last March, was the first time in my whole entire life I've ever been alone. And it was really frightening to me. I didn't know how to do it. And I just always associated, being alone, being a loner, whatever, was a bad, negative thing. And this book just really changed my mind about that. And I'm really starting to enjoy the time that I have alone. I'm still a social person. I love to go out and be around people, but this really changed my viewpoint on being alone. So yeah, we've got reading. All right, what do I have next? Oh, this is great. I love to listen to or dance to 80s music. Is there anything better than 80s music? Younger people, I don't want to hear your answer to that. 80s music, the best. Now, I do like to listen to live music, go see live music. My favorite band, Wrecked Jenny. They are out of Omaha, but they come down to Lincoln. So whenever they're in town, I go to them. I'm kind of the dance party starter at these events. People don't want to dance, and so I go out there and just start dancing, and then everyone else decides, oh, that's a fun idea. I do also, when I don't go to live music, which isn't that often, I just like dancing around the house. I'll put on Alexa and tell her to play 80s rock. And I have kind of a little loop here in my kitchen and dining room and living room. So I just dance around there. Now I do have, I don't know if you can see them, big picture windows over here. So I'm not sure. My neighbors are either totally horrified or, maybe entertained. I have no idea, and I don't really care. So I love 80s music, and it gets my steps in too. So that's nice. All right, what do we have next? Oh, creative activities. I'm so creative. I love artsy fartsy things. So here's some of my favorite things to do. Okay, this first one is bead art, or diamond art, some people call it. I don't know if you can see that. You take this little stylus thing and you have these teeny tiny little beads and you put them on this picture to make a big picture. It's very soothing, very repetitive and very soothing. So here's a picture of my latest one that I'm working on. Daisies. I love daisies. And, the thing about me is when I get excited about anything new, I kind of go overboard. So I probably have 12 or 15 different diamond art pictures that I can do. So if anyone needs one, I've got plenty that I am willing to share. Okay, this next one, I don't do this one very often, but I do like it when I do it. And that is painting. So this Christmas, we decided to do a fun activity. Well, I thought it was fun, and I think everyone else had a good time. But we had blank canvases, and we just painted whatever, and it was so fun to see what people came up with. So here's what I came up with. This was my finished project. Now, when I was like 10 years old, one of my favorite things to do in school when I was done with my work is I'd take a black crayon, and I'd make these squiggly lines, just changing them, connecting them, whatever. And then I'd take my crayons and color them in. I love doing that. And I've done several of them as an adult. I have a big one downstairs that I painted. This year I decided to try something different. So I decided to use these little jaggedy pointed lines. And it's totally not me. I'm more of a round arch, soft edges, whatever. But I felt called to do this year. And I wasn't sure if I liked it when I got it done. But the more I looked at it, I kind of thought, this picture is kind of representative of these last few years. I've had a lot of kind of life-shattering experiences. And as I've been going through this kind of healing process, I've just come to realize that broken pieces like this can be put back together and, make something beautiful again. So it's growing on me. Not my favorite, but it's growing on me. All right, what else do I have? Oh, here's another creative activity that I love to do. And that's crocheting. Got my little crochet hooks down here. Now, I learned to crochet when I was 10. And I can actually even do it in my sleep. I love crocheting over knitting because if you mess up, which I do all the time, you just pull it right out and start over. Knitting, not so much. So these are my latest two projects. This thing right here, I made Joey a new blanket. The last blanket I made him, I forgot that he's like 6 feet tall and not 5'2" like me. And so the blanket like came from his, armpits and maybe covered his toes. He couldn't really put it over him. So I made him another bigger one, bigger and better. Now my other project was this right here. This was a sweater that I crocheted for Henry. And as you can see in the picture, he hates it, totally hates it. But the problem is he's so chubby that the ones I buy from the store, the little ones, the small ones that are supposed to fit a dog his size, I can't get it on him. It's like pulling a tight sausage or something. It's awful. And then the next size up is too big. It hangs on the ground. So I had to make my own. And yeah, he wasn't too thrilled with it, but it was fun. All right, what am I up to? Okay. Oh, this is super fun. I know I've said that about all of them, but these are my top 10, so I think they're all fun. Here we go. Watching sports. So my favorite 3 sports, football, volleyball, and basketball. Now, football, I like college and pro. Volleyball, just pretty much the Husker women. And then basketball, I like any college basketball, especially the Huskers. Pro, I really could care less. So those are my 3 favorite. Now, while I'm on that subject, I felt the need to make another sign that showed how my teams did this year. So here we go. We've got the Husker football team. Look at that, people, 7-6. We haven't had a winning record for, I just don't even know, I can't remember. We made it to a bowl game. We did not win, but I have great hopes for our team. Now, I don't know about this one. This is my 49ers. The 49ers were in the Super Bowl last year. And this year we are 6-11. What the crap happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Christian McCaffrey was injured most of the year. But we're going to come back. I feel it. Now, speaking of comebacks, check this one out. Denver Broncos, 10-7, people, again. When's the last time we had a winning record? Again, we didn't do well in the playoff game the other day, but that's okay. I have great hopes. We've got a great quarterback, great coach. And once we get done paying off Russell Wilson's stupid contract, we'll be able to get some higher quality players in there as well. All right, what do I have? Oh, the volleyball team, 33-3, amazing. Didn't win the national championship, but they were so fun to watch all year. There were some real nail biters. And then this last one is the Husker basketball team. They are 12-4. I love watching those games. In person, I get a little crazy, so I like to go with Joey. He always calms me down a little bit because I get kind of aggressive and yelling at people. All right, what do I have? Okay, we got 3 left here. This one's super fun. My VR headset, I don't know, it's called MetaQuest or something. It's that big headset you put on. I totally look like an idiot, but I'm pretty sure everybody does, so I don't feel so bad about it. But my 2 favorite games, I like Beat Saber. This is like a music one where you've got the music and you're slashing these little things. It's, again, very therapeutic and soothing, but at the same time, you get your aggressions out, slashing through these things. And then this one, First Encounters. Look at these cute little aliens. They're so adorable. They're like little fuzzy and whatnot. And this one, you try to capture as many aliens as you can. And by capture, I mean kill them. I'm not a violent person, but this game is kind of fun. I will admit that. All right, 2 left. Now, while I'm doing all my creative activities, I sometimes like to have adult beverages, okay? My 2 favorite, I like wine and several mixed drinks. I'm gonna show you my 2 favorite. Now, I like cheap wine. I do not like that expensive, I've been aged for a million years kind of crap. So I like Arbor Mist, or this is my new favorite, Stella Rosa, the berry kind. And if you want to add an extra kick, that's amazing. You throw some of this bad boy in there. Peach schnapps. Just a little bit. Amazing. Takes it to a whole new level. So that's my wine drink I like. Then I have a new mixed drink, and I'm going to give a shout out to my friend Mike, the bartender man, for introducing me to this one. I call it Dr. Fire. So the doctor part of it is Dr. Pepper. Isn't this cute? It's so tiny. I don't like a lot of soda. Oh wait, I'm in Nebraska. We don't call it soda, pop. I don't like a lot of it, so this is perfect size. So that's the doctor. Now the fire, you're gonna love this, Fireball. And again, it doesn't take much. I just put like a little tiny little thing in there. Although I went out on New Year's Eve and I asked the people to make me one, and they put like half a giant container of Fireball in it. It was really strong. I only needed one drink the whole night, but I usually just put a little bit of this in there. Delicious, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so I'm up to my last one. I've got nap. The best. What's better than taking a nap, right? I got my favorite pillow and my blanket. This pretty much looks like me. I kind of thought when I printed it out. It's got a headband. I wear a lot of headbands these days. So that's me, sleeping in the bed. Now, I probably should put this as number one because I do this a lot. But I figured I'm making up for the last 40 years when I didn't have time at all to take a nap. So making this video has made me a little bit tired. So I feel like I'm going to go ahead and end this and go find my blanket, take a little tiger snooze. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope to have a lot more. I'll be putting them up on my new channel. But until my next video, I hope you stay safe and healthy and lots of peace. Yes, I'm making it this way. My kids always say it's wrong, but I'm making it this way. Lots of peace. Lots of love to you all. Ciao for now.